The internet loves telling you to quit your job and start a business. I mean, that's kind of all you see on Instagram and TikTok these days. Work for yourself, escape the 9 to 5. Or stop the rat race. But what nobody talks about is that both paths can make you rich, and both paths can also ruin you. So instead of just telling you which one's better, I want to break down the real pros and cons of both of them. Then I think you guys will be able to see that you can actually have a mix of both lifestyles. I don't think most people understand that they actually can continue working a 9 to 5 while also escaping it at the same time. But first of all, let's go ahead and compare both of them. So why do people always hate on 9 to 5 jobs? One of the main things you're going to hear about is schedule control. Your boss is telling you when you work, when you get off work. When you're allowed to have a break for vacation, everything that you want to do is controlled by somebody else, not you. Second thing is, bosses or your management at your work might actually be horrible. You might just be unlucky enough to have a manager who's super stuck up and you just don't like him at all. Or you might have some sort of higher up admin that's completely out of touch with what your actual work is, and they might just be completely nitpicking your work all the time. Another big thing that you hear about is capped income. Most of these jobs, you actually end up having a salary or some sort of hourly wage that you can't really work too much overtime on. It's kind of like, hey, you're only making X amount of money this year and that's what you're stuck at. Your performance at these jobs don't really dictate the amount of money you'll make. At most, you might be able to qualify for a raise or perhaps a bonus, but even that's not guaranteed. All of this ends up just depending on if your manager likes you enough or not. And my personal worst con about a 9 to 5 job is corporate culture. I personally hate this one the most. I think the whole way that corporate culture is set up is so annoying. You're always tiptoeing around to try to not offend anyone or anything. And you're always having to use like weird terminology. I don't know if you guys have seen the TikToks, but sometimes people are starting to make fun of it. They'll say things like, let's table that idea or let's put a pin in it. And I just think that's the funniest way to talk. Like, just get to the point. Stop adding all this random terminology in there. So obviously a 9 to 5 isn't all bad, but there definitely is some reasons why a 9 to 5 is actually powerful and can be great for your life. So obviously, firstly, you are going to have a stable income no matter what. If you're running a business, your business runs the risk of having no money at all certain months. But with a 9 to 5, you know you're going to get paid every week or 2 weeks or however your company's pay structure works. This is that peace of mind that you get while working a 9 to 5. You know at the end of the week, you will get your money and your bills will be paid. Another thing these guys really help out with is investing consistency. By these guys, I mean that these companies that are matching your Roth IRA contributions and your 401k contributions. A lot of these jobs allow you to do auto contributions that go out of your paycheck every single time. And on top of that, like I said before, they end up matching a certain amount of dollars. So that's really just free money you're getting, and it's going to help you invest more consistently. And this is a point that I mentioned in my last video, but a 401k, if you don't know what that is, many companies have some sort of initiative for you to invest into your 401k. For example, if you put in $2,000, your company will also put in $2,000. That's an easy doubling of your money, and that's pure profit. That's one of the safest investments that you can make. One thing that people don't realize, and it's never really talked about, is the 9 to 5 skill development that you get. Think about it when you're first starting off your job. You're probably going to be an intern or some sort of other early career position. Most of the time, when you're one of these positions, you're either going to have some sort of training manager or some other sort of helper for you. These training managers are there to teach you your job as efficiently as you could do it. These skills that you learn with them don't just stay at that company. After you learn those skills, you are able to apply them in many other places, especially when you move jobs in the future. Lastly is just the overall collection of all the benefits that you get working a 9 to 5, because some of them truly are great. If you think about it, you get paid to go to vacation. You get retirement accounts matching. You get health, dental, and vision insurance. And lastly, you get that stable income that a 9 to 5 provides. They really aren't the worst thing ever, as many people make them seem out to be. The online narrative right now by financial gurus is always just talking about making your own business, but they never talk about the pros of a 9 to 5. They always end up just saying they escaped the rat race and end up saying some super generic business idea. Now, we obviously have talked a lot about 9 to 5s. Now it's time to talk about the opposite and start talking about entrepreneurship. So, starting off with some of the benefits, I mean, there really is a unlimited income potential here. Everybody talks about how you're not capped on your business's income. I mean, it's always infinitely scalable and you're really the only limiter on how much you could make. It's dependent on how hard you're willing to work and how high you want that income to go. I guess another great benefit of working a business is autonomy. You are your own boss. You decide what happens in the business, the hours you work. No one else is there to boss you around because you are the boss. Lastly, there's almost a direct reward for effort. As said before, you're not always given direct awards for working harder in your 9 to 5. Yeah, you might get a bonus or something, but even that's not for sure. In a business though, if you're giving it your all and your business starts to see growth, you will reap the benefits. You will start to see your clientele go up. And most importantly, your bread will go up. Now here's the part that financial gurus never actually talk about, and this is the entrepreneurship cons. So yeah, there's an unlimited income cap on this, but really the income is pretty unstable. You never know what type of month or year is going to come around to your business. You might end up having nothing or even take a massive hit and lose money that year. Having a bad year in business could really end it all, because if you can't pay your bills for your business and at home, that could just add a lot of stress to your life. And really that could be its own thing, stress. No one mentions it, but it's really stressful having your own business. You have a whole new plethora of things that you have to worry about when running a business. Sure, the money potential's there, but you have to worry about everything from employees, the building rent, utilities, stuff breaking, having a customer base. These things lead to a lot of sleepless nights, especially on bad months. And finally, they have a huge failure rate. Approximately 21 to 24% of new businesses fail within their first year. This climbs to 50% by year 5 and over 65% by year 10. Many people who start businesses unfortunately do end up failing. Of course, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't start one up, but it's important to know what you're actually about to get yourself into. And lastly, if it wasn't obvious enough, there's not the same benefits that you're going to get from a 9 to 5. You won't be having health, dental, and vision insurance. You won't have something to double your money when putting into a retirement account from company contributions. No one's there to do that for you. If you're running a business, no one's going to be there to do that for you. All these extra costs are now going to have to be fulfilled by you. So you heard the cons of both. You heard the pros of both. So what really is the best thing to do? I think there's some sort of hybrid path that everyone should be able to do. And I think this is something that really needs to be said, because a lot of people are super focused in one way or the other. But in reality, I think there's a great middle ground for this. I think you should get a 9 to 5 for stability and stack your bread and get that 401k match as much as you can. If you're able to live a minimalist lifestyle and start stacking your bread, you will slowly start to accumulate thousands of dollars into your accounts. Even after fully funding out your Roth IRA, you should still have some to spare. After you have that solid base built up from starting up your 9 to 5, that's when you could start to have side businesses for additional income. I think you should never just rely on one income to support you. I think it's much harder to get rich if you only have one income stream, and you definitely shouldn't just rely on one for your whole life. Having multiple streams will help you become less stressful if another stream of income ends up falling short. I can go into a whole nother video talking about great side hustles to start up, and that can start to show you at different levels of your income what to start up with: low funds, medium funds, and high funds. If you had to pick right now, which one are you choosing? A 9 to 5 straight up entrepreneurship lifestyle, or a hybrid system like I mentioned before? That's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you found this video both entertaining and informative. Please feel free to show your support by subscribing and liking this video, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.